was trying to set up a record label at the time. While I was doing that, I knew about JJ's had just opened and nobody was going in, so I used to go in of a night, sit down, literally sit there on the corner on my own, sit there with the barmaid, do all this research. When they came around then to do the Battle of the Bands, I got a phone call off the barmaid saying, like, will you come down and judge it? I've been telling the manager all about you and how you keep coming in and what you're doing, so will you come down and be a judge?
2 days before, I started to realise that we're actually doing it, and I thought, I didn't know if anyone would turn up or anything.
Well, the first time we went down, we were all nervous. Like, we hadn't played as a band together once before, like, as he says, our first gig. So we were on last, I think, as well, which is always the highlight, you know, because everybody's seen a couple of bands, they've had a few drinks, and then everybody starts cheering, oh, come on, it was good.
It was this small, tiny little shitty place.
It's a bad setup as well, because the walls are coming between each other, and there's no stage and all.
The PA were dead shy, like that big, and it like the wind coming from like computer speakers. It was terrible.
I don't think I was particularly nervous about actually playing. I just think I was nervous about fucking up. It wasn't actually getting up there and playing. I just didn't want to fuck up. I didn't want to let anybody down. In band sort of thing. About
20 minutes before I went on, I was walking, absolutely petrified. I remember me grabbing Rob and asking him, oh, what's the structure for a vicious cocktail?
I don't have a fucking clue, mate, and he just shit me right up. And we were just panicking and stuff, and we got on and it just all came back, luckily. So we're alright.
I saw the other bands, and they had a few people watching them, but no one really got close in, the people were standing back and watching them. When we came on, everyone was crowded around us, and that was a pretty good feeling.
I remember everyone going mental. As soon as we come on, the place was packed for us compared to other bands. And we pretty much blew them away, really.
Okay, our next act tonight is the Magic O, so can you
Very much cool, thank you. Our first song is called Fever.
Literally, they played about 30 seconds, and me and my mate who were judging, just sort of like, our jaws hit the floor, jumped up, we sat right up on the back of the seat, looking around the corner, because it was only a tiny little bar, trying to sneak around the corner, looking at them and all this, proper going for it, and they played about 6 songs, I think, and that was it. We were just blown away. We just thought it was great. Couldn't believe the fact that it was the first ever gig.
When they said like they said the Runners Up band's name, and I thought, oh, there was this soul singer guy as well, and I thought, oh, he's got it, because apparently he was really good. He was good, like, and then they went to Magic O's.
They announced us as winners, and it was just like, I couldn't take it in. Everyone around me were going nuts, like all my mates and stuff were jumping around, and I was just stood there, just like, fucking hell, can't believe that.
I remember me and Niall stood together, and we had our arms around each other, and I had a drink. We cheered, and then I had no drink.
I spoke to Rob while he was taking everything up and packing up, and just said like, oh, good luck, you know, you're a good band, I think you're going to do well in the final, and then we'd like to have a chat after the final. And I said, oh, you must have been playing for quite a while because you got a good tight sound and stuff. And he just said, no, it's our first gig. And I got loads of mates to go and ask them as they were leaving, like without telling them that I knew these mates, to go and ask them because I didn't believe them. And the more and more people asked, it was like, yeah, it's the first gig. And I was just blown away. I thought it was great. To sound like that on your first gig was just stupid. I was talking to Matt, and I was trying to ask like where the name came from and stuff.
He was, oh yeah, I think the name's a bit rubbish though, a bit shit.
It was like a flowery hippie name or something like this. And then Niall comes up with a cigarette, smoking it, he's smoking away, here listening to me have a go at the name.
He took a drag of his cigarette, like, big smoke ring, he just went, O's like that, and stuck his finger through it.
Absolute perfect circle, and then pokes it through, says, where the fucking O's?
The famous hoop. Once we told we were coming back for the final, it was great. It was something else they work on then, so we were just getting them other songs tighter.
Yeah, it was exactly a week after.
We weren't as prepared for the final.
I think we couldn't book a practice room or something like that because it was such short notice.
I don't think we really rehearsed after that. We had like a little rehearsal before we went on to learn the new song, which was Medicine and Mayhem, that Andy and Matt had done over the weekend.
We had 2 new songs that we were doing. One of them were a new song that me and Matt had written on the Monday night. Showed it to Tom and Rob on the Tuesday night. Showed it to Niall about 2 hours before we went, no, about 30 minutes before we went for sound check.
Changed the cover, we did Psycho by the Sonics.
The place was packed for us again.
But I remember being dead nervous. My voice was going a little bit, but it was alright in the end.
I honestly believed that we were going to win it the second time. I thought we'd won it.
When they announced it, I had gone, so I remember on the heat, we were right at the back, like near the door. We were probably ready for a quick exit or something in case we lost. So, have a good night, see you. So I thought, hell with this, I'm off backstage, mate. So I went and sat on my amp, which was right next to the person who were announcing it.
We've got only 2 places tonight. We've got runner-up and winner. So everyone else, well done for playing, and you played really well.
There's no losing in this game.
Let's go on to the winner. Okay, runner-up tonight. It was really the Magicos.
And I didn't actually hear what they said at first. I just heard Magic Cows and I was like, what, have we won, or have we, runners up, or did we come like last, or and then I didn't hear them say the rules. I think it was that won it, and then like these girls that come to see us that we knew came running over and just like, oh, don't worry about it and stuff, and then I kind of knew that we hadn't won it, so.
Plain and simple, got absolute daylight robbery. When it got to the final, Ruth, the manager, brought in another judge just specifically for the final. Just as a favour, we found out. It was just like, come and have some free drinks, literally. So she brought her mate in, and then Ruth decided that she wanted to vote in the final as well. So when we were upstairs having a few drinks, chatting through each band and stuff, Ruth started talking about the rules, the band that eventually won it. She started talking about how much she wanted them to win. And she'd obviously convinced her mate that she'd asked along to say the same. So the rules already had 2 out of 5 votes. Me and Ian wanted the Magic O's to win. So it was literally 2 to the rules, 2 to the Magic O's. And what with the barmaid being employed by Ruth, she didn't really have much of a choice than to agree with Ruth and pick the rules. So it was 3 to 2, and we just sat there going, I can't believe you're going to pick a band like the Rules that they sound like the Killers, that they fit in right now. But they're a good band, but they're not anything different. There's nothing really exciting about them. I can't believe you're going to pick them.
Even when they went back on, they got no cheer. When they come back on for the grand finale, they was like, no man.
I was pretty shocked about coming second. I was gutted about not coming first. But it were like, I wasn't that bothered, because at the end of the day we'd practiced for 4 weeks before, and like if I'd have looked back 4 weeks, I wasn't even in any active band, and then 4 weeks later I've come second in a battle of bands out of 12 bands. I can't complain at that.
It were written in stars, wasn't it, for us to win? I thought, second ever gig. It would just been the romance of the thing, I think, winning it.
And in a way I'm glad we didn't win it, because it would have kept us down. The prize was that you won like They play in JJ's once a month or something like. And now looking back, I wouldn't have been arsed to play JJ's once a month like.
I think we were more bothered about getting the crate beer as the prize rather than have to show party at our house.
I remember being pretty pissed off with the band who won it because they were arseholes afterwards.
The rules, like the dickheads, I hate the rules, I don't like them.
I said well done to him because they were sniggering at me, so I just like went up and rubbed it in a bit. I was like, oh yeah, well done, you deserve to win and all this. And then lead singer just piped up, oh yeah, magic mate. And I'm like, oh, whatever. But they were an arsehole and they won't do well because they just sounded like a Franz Ferdinand cover band, so fuck up.
Don't get me wrong, if I had said it, it would have been funny.